Right then, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to WRC for the first round of the season. Of course, we had the pre-season in Saudi Arabia, but finally we return for WRC, the second season running, and of course pretty much every single one of the drivers that were here last season joining us again, and we're going to try and replicate that. What we had, of course, last season round. It was quite a good season indeed. Of course, my first time being here, my first season here in WRC it was, and their first season as well as a league. Now going into the second season, this should be very nice indeed, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all looking forward to it. Here in Silverstone as well, the home of the Formula 1 World Championship, it's going to be brilliant. It really, really is. And 18 drivers joining us to do this one tonight. Times on the board. Nobody has set a time yet, but I'm sure we're going to get them in very soon. And of course, as you know, after qualifying everybody, we go into a race intro, and then after that we go into your 50% race here at Silverstone. But it's good to be back. It is very nice to be back then here for this league. 15 minutes of qualifying then on your screen, everybody. And F1 Mikey Boy, Fozy, Billy Mewis, Blake, Humboldt, Ferrari for Life, Josh, Andy J. Price, Zazapi, Mackie, Mikey GTI, Bruiser, MCL, Sidemen, Maloon, Matt Connor, and Nova Piper all join us again, once again, for this brand new season around. How good is it to see them again? You get a lot of leagues where, you know, the drivers that were in the previous season don't return for the next one. You maybe get 50% back, the rest are new. But this league, you know, you can tell how tight-knit they are because every single person here pretty much is from last season. That is what we like to see. Stimulation Gaming, Lobby Bugged, got DSQ lol. Oh, fair enough. Not good indeed. Oh, just turn the screen off. Not good indeed. I'm going to really quickly get the WRC chat up, everybody, so bear with me. Just want to make sure I'm not missing any messages, as I've only got the Jack Crossley comms chat out right now, and I know a lot of you do watch in the other chat, so I'll get that open as well. I hit a wall and got wedged in the barrier. Was that in the pit lane stimulation? Because I think I saw before I started the stream someone crashed in the pit lane. But yes, Josh, Bruiser, Blake, all starting with times on the board today, ladies and gentlemen. I've just realised I've had the WRC chat up the whole time and not my own. Never mind. There he is, Drew in the chat. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you. Ollie Southall as well. That's my bad. I was not ignoring any of you. I just didn't have the chat open. Didn't know you were there. My bad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, of course, as you know, for WRC. But we're waiting for some more times over the line. We've got Mackie fastest at the minute in the Ferrari. It's a Zappi P2 right now. 3 is Bruiser. Then it's 4 Humble, 5 Billy Mewis, 6 Josh, and 7 is Blake with a 1:29.6 on time at the moment. Then behind that is F1 Mikey Boy, who's just starting a flying lap today and heading through the first set of corners here in Silverstone. He has to get this right then to maintain his title, to maintain that consistency that he brings to every race, and we know how good he is. He was on the verge of a world championship at the end of last season, but unable to attend the last race, didn't get his fair shot at that championship, and of course, as we know, won by Billy Mewis at the end of it. So a lot of unanswered questions going into season 2, whether, you know, F1 Mikey Boy, can he win a world championship this season? He's a very fast driver, but is this qualifying time going to show for it? 50% battery heading up towards the right-hand side and all the way down towards Eau Rouge. Wow, that just shows how fried my brain is. Eau Rouge, when Silverstone, through Maggots and Beckett's. Maggots and Beckett's through the exit. And he is absolutely flying. 102.7 down that back straight and into the final set of corners. Ollie Southall in the chat. It's good to see you, mate. Welcome in. As F1 Mikey Boy making his way through the final set of corners. And like I mentioned, second place in the Drivers' World Championship last season. He rounds off the final corner and flies towards the line here in Silverstone. It's P4 for his first time of the day with 1:26.6 and 3 places behind the lead at this moment in time. Mackie, the fastest man, nearly in the 1:25s. That is very fast. Very fast. It's a quick league. It's a very quick lead then here in WRC. And they definitely get a move on with the races. They really, really do. But of course, like I mentioned, race intro coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. And I am very much looking forward to that. We haven't rehearsed it today, but you know, we normally just get straight into it and throw ourselves into it, and it normally works out. So hopefully today will be the same. But of course, the first round back again, and I'm very, very excited to be getting into this one. Qualifying still, we're in right now with 11 minutes to go. As Drew can already tell, this is a class league from the names. They're very good. They are very good indeed. But 10 minutes remaining. Mackie, your quickest man. We've got about 4 drivers without times on the board right now. Fosey, Andy J. Price, and Matt Connor. Now somebody over the line that we've just saw, I think it was Maloon, putting on a 1:26.9. And he sets a P8 time at the minute. But Andy J. Price and Matt Connor both out on laps. Then Matt heading into the final chicane. And he will round off this lap today. Will this be a decent one in the Mercedes then? Back of the grid right now. He's aiming to try and go a bit higher than that. Over the line for Matt Connor. It's P10 at the end of that lap. Here's Andy J. Price then with a bit more battery than Matt had on that one around. And the McLaren pushing his way through that final chicane, round the final corner as the McLaren sweeps up towards the line. It's a P3 with 1:26.572, and he's very fast this season. That's a good time from Andy J. Price. So here's F1 Mikey Boy going round again, and his teammate giving him a bit of a slipstream. Matt Connor gets well out of the way, and even with the slipstream, F1 Mikey Boy is down by 200th of a second in the first sector and not finding time over his original previous time, the one where he set only a few moments ago and got himself P4, then got dropped down to P5 now, and he's pretty much set the same time as Ferrari for life. It is very, very close. You know, even with Bruiser as well, Bruiser's not far off the time either, all in the 1:26.6s. But we're still going to keep going with F1 Mikey Boy, who has invalidated this lap around, and that will be the end of his lap today. As Andy J. Price then sat in 3rd place, and he is very quick this season. So is Mackie and Zazapi too, all looking very fast. Fosey hasn't set a time yet, but he's starting one now, and through the first set of corners then, full throttle up here pretty much. Shifting down through the gears, 3rd gear, all the way through the left-hand side then, where you can get the foot flat out and clip the inside curb as you take the back straight now then. And of course the DRS activated for Fosey. You have a look for some darts for you as well. Oh, good. Thank you very much. You'll have to do that and let me know. But fastest first sector for Fosey in the Aston Martin at the minute, and he is showing some real potential then in that first sector. But can he continue it? Can he keep it up? And can he just, you know, he's P17 right now, no time, but can he get himself even in the top 10? We'll find out. Fosey's normally fairly quick, and I'm not expecting too much, but I think this man has definitely got a good time in him, and he's heading towards the end of Sector 2 now then. Let's have a look for Fosey. Fosey up towards the end of Sector 2. It's a 1:03.3 as Ollie Southall. Yes, I agree with you. Drew should join WRC. I think it's a great league on the Tuesdays. I think he should definitely get involved. But P17 for Fosey with no time on the board. But here in qualifying, this will be his first one of today. He heads into the flying left-hander to the right-hand side now. And up towards the line here in Silverstone. Fosey, it's a P13 for him. And unfortunately, not in that top 10, which I thought he might get into today. Over the line for somebody there. It was Josh, who improved by 6.5 of a second then. He gets into that top 10 now. Bruiser is improving by 1.5 nearly in P7. He's making his way down towards Copse Corner now then, where, of course, in 2021, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton came in contact. But a long time since then now, going into the 2026 F1 season, new regulations. You'll have to let me know what you think about that in the chat, as it is... it's controversial, I think, the new regulations, but Bruiser then up by 0.2 of a second nearly on this lap around and into the flying right-hander, ladies and gentlemen. And making his way all the way up towards the final few corners. Some very fast drivers in this league, and Bruiser just trying to go even quicker from P7 with a 1 minute 26.6, trying to improve. He does improve from third place. That is absolutely superb then from the Racing Bull, who gets himself on the second row of the grid. And a lovely, lovely stuff from him. Lovely lap. Nah, Drew, just the back, mate. But yeah, Drew, you should definitely join the league, mate. Maybe even one race. Just give it a go. Ollie Southall, new point system makes it interesting. I haven't read about that. I'll have to have a look at the new point system. I haven't really looked much at that. I've just looked about, you know, there's like the removal of the MGUH or something like that, and some different stuff. And there's the I can't remember what you call it now, but of course DRS is gone now, isn't it? So it's going to be the alternatives, which, you know, might be quite good. Might be quite good indeed. But we'll find out. We'll find out. 2026, of course, won't be long until that season begins. But WRC, it is all starting here tonight on the Tuesday, of course. I believe WRC have 3 tiers. The Tuesday tier, I think they used to run on Thursdays, don't know if they do anymore. I know they do 100% races on Friday, though. So if you're in the chat and you want to get involved for that, make sure you message me and I'll get you in touch with Mikey Boy, and you can get yourselves in for the Friday. But 5 minutes to go then of this session, everybody, and Mackie's still your fastest driver here today in qualifying. Still, you know, we are latter stages now, and Mackie's still holding on to that all this time. But yes, I say it quite a lot, but just backing up what's being said in the chat right now, yeah, got to be one of the best leagues, if not the best league. Actually, no, it is the best league. It's the best league I've ever commentated on, and I don't think that's going to change for a long while. Definitely the best league I commentate on right now. I'd definitely say that. And the action here is always good. Always good. New point system for this league. Oh, my bad. Points from 1st to 20th. I didn't know about that, actually. That's pretty cool. New point system, then. That's going to bring in... that's going to bring in a lot more points and make it a bit more exciting, I think. But into the pit lane then for Mikey GTI, and he sets third place at the minute. Bruiser in 4 then, 5 Andy J Price, 6 is Ferrari for Life, 7 F1 Mikey Boy. Mikey says, sent you the points, chat, take a look. Cheers, mate, I appreciate that. Mike's top lad fair play is Mikey Boy. What an absolute legend he is. A great league that he's built. As Humboldt then in 12, he's on an outlap. Same with Josh, and Mackie's out as well. Fosie's out there too. As I will quickly take a look at that point system before it all starts ramping up, because this is it, everybody. Drivers are going to start coming out on their outlaps now, and it's going to start to get very real. Right then, point system. First place, 35 points then, is the new points, all the way down to 2 points for 20th place. Everybody's getting points then, no matter where you finish. So it's good. That's very good indeed. And there's a lot of leagues that do that, and it has worked out quite well in the past. So I'm looking forward to see how that does. I really am. My bad, just sorting the stream chat out. There we go. Right, everybody. Qualifying is soon to round off, and this is it, the final 2 minutes of the first round of the season. If you are just joining us, we are back for WRC for the second season running, and Fozy on his way around apparently sets the fastest middle sector. He's down in P14, so I'm not too sure if he has or not, because sometimes the game does glitch. But it is possible, and he could very well have that fastest middle sector there. Is this going to be enough then for the final few corners, ladies and gentlemen? Can Fozy set a better time today from P14? He does get to P12 with a 10th improvement. Not too bad at all then for that Aston Martin. As Humboldt, he's improving too. Everybody on their outlaps now then. Not a single person apart from Josh that's in the pit lane. Humboldt with the DRS activated now then. He's just hit the grass, I think, and that's him slowing down, and that'll be it for him, unfortunately, on this go-around, and I don't think he'll probably go around again. Andy J. Price is starting his lap, then the final lap for him today, making his way then through these the first few corners, here in Silverstone, and looking quite strong, tight and neat so far. A minute to go now then, and here's one of the first runners of this final batch of drivers heading on for laps, and he is looking strong so far, but this is going to be the true teller. He's 400th of a second down. He's honestly, invalidated then for the McLaren. Andy J. Price, who set a very nice time of P5, actually P3 earlier on. Now he invalidates on his final lap around, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of qualifying for him. Mackie soon to round off the end of his qualifying today. Into the chicane he goes. He's on provisional pole right now, but has he done enough to defend it and keep hold of it? Tight grasp that he wants on it, but around the final corner, will it be a loose grip? It's going to be a 10th of a second down, and it will be a loose grip then on that pole position, as a 10th between him and Zazapi, and Zazapi's making his way around. He's down on time at the moment, but he could definitely find that in this middle sector, the final sector as well. Is on its way. Zazapi's up by 600ths of a second. Not enough for the minute for pole, but if he can really bring together this final third, this could be pole for the Kick Sauber today. Mackie left defenseless after setting a slower time than his previous time in qualifying today. Zazapi's going for pole, and he is absolutely flying round the final corner. Is it going to be enough then for the Kick Sauber? It absolutely will. A 10th and a half improvement, and Zazapi takes provisional pole here in Silverstone. Mackie in second place and will not improve. It's Mikey GTI then making his way round the final the right-hander and into the final few corners of the middle sector. He isn't looking like he's improving right now. Over the line then for Billy Mewis, who improves by 2 tenths and claims the second row of the grid this evening. Lovely stuff from him. Ferrari for life is invalidated. F1 Mikey Boy could take pole here. He crosses the line. It's third place then for the Mercedes here on the first race back of WRC. Mikey not improving right now. MCL round the final corner. This could be good for him. It's P7 for the McLaren at the end of qualifying for him. Sideman in P15, he's invalidated as he crosses the line. Nova Piper, he's still on his way around up towards the final few corners. 10% battery then as the fuel light is on. He still could be with a green delta here though, and could be finding time around the final few corners up towards the line. Nova Piper's going to go foot flat to the floor, and it's P9 for the Kick Sauber. Strong time from him. And wow, before we announce that, look at the gap between the drivers. This is honestly amazing driving, everybody. You should all be very proud. Look at the gap. Absolutely brilliant. Wow, your pole sitter, the Kick Sauber, Zazapi. Very nice indeed. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is your qualifying order. Next up is the race intro. We'll see you very soon. Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. WRC returns again for a second season running, and coming off the back of a Billy Mewis World Championship win. F1 Mikey Boy wasn't far off, and we turn up here in Silverstone for the first round of Season 2 with a lot of drivers all in contention of that World Championship come season end. New point system as well today then that we are going to be introducing here at Silverstone, and I'm more than excited to be adding into it. Here is your track then, everybody. 3.6 miles at track distance, 52 laps at the full race distance. We do half of that tonight. 18 turns then across the track with 2 DRS zones down the back straight and a top speed of 206 miles per hour overall. Here's the tyres then that Pirelli have issued for us today. Of course, your soft, medium and the hard is the C3, the C2 and the C1. Not the hardest but not the softest set of tyres that we have from Pirelli as we get into the main action, ladies and gentlemen, and the drivers are just about to start their formation laps in a moment's time. The first round of the season, a lot of drivers, a lot of people in the Twitch chat tonight for WRC, which is what we like to see, and the formation lap is going to begin then here for the first round, the first race back. And it is Silverstone, ladies and gentlemen, as the formation lap begins. Zappi takes pole at the end of qualifying, and we're going to be getting into this one with the Kick Sauber, starting them off from the front of the grid. Mackie is only just in second place, and he might have a good go at taking that away from him. I think Mackie could have improved on his final lap, but he just couldn't put it together. He couldn't pull the lap together, and that's what left him so defenceless at the end of qualifying. So do not count that Ferrari out, because he had pole majority of that session. I think he's got something up his sleeve tonight, but Zappi's still a fast driver. Zappi could more than happily pull away with it. You never know. You never know how it's going to go, but they're both starting on the same tyres tonight. As you can see, the medium compound, F1 Mikey Boy starting on those mediums as well, all the way down to P8. As top 15 within 1 second is mental, says Ollie South. Yeah, mate, honestly, I was in awe at the end of qualifying. That's why I had to stop, because at the times, it's nothing. You never see anything like that in this level of racing. It's brilliant. But here we go then, as we round off this middle sector in a moment and head towards the Maggots and Beckett's, the last few corners of Sector 2, and make our way all the way down the back straight. Here we have 18 drivers, all with a chance of taking home some good points today due to the new point system, all the way down to P20, the last driver on the grid getting 2 points. So points all across the track tonight, and who can take the most amount is what we are wondering then. Zappi, Mackie, F1 Mikey Boy, even with his great racecraft. 2-stop strategies then is what they suggest on the screen. Is that what the drivers are going to do? I'm not too sure. Some might be able to pull off the 1-stop. A lot are probably going to go for the 2-stop strategy, but we'll see what the drivers decide to do then in the moment. Of course, safety cars can come into play, virtual safety cars. Anything can happen that can change and mess around with a strategy, and if something like that does happen, we can get feedback off the drivers, talk about it with them in the interviews later today, of course, when the drivers have completed this 50% race. But this is only the start, everybody, and we get ready, we get geared up for the first round of the season here in WRC for the second season running, as the drivers line up on the grid, and Darrell will be the last man to do so. And starting from the front is going to be Zappi in the Kick Sauber. WRC is back, ladies and gentlemen, and for the second season running, we get ready to go lights out here in Silverstone. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And they're away. It's lights out and away we go. And Zappi off the line is absolutely flying. But Mackie, like we said on the formation lap, has caught him lacking then up the inside line. Mackie takes P1 through the first set of corners. Trying to fight back is Zappi. They go side by side then through turns 2 and 3. Mackie holds it for now as Mikey GTI is in the scene. F1 Mikey Boy drops down 2 positions to P5. Mikey's trying to hold on. Bruiser then down to 4. It's Billy Mewis in 5 as F1 Mikey Boy losing all the places right now, down to P8 in this race. He's got Maloon behind that and MCL in front of him. They're all fighting away then through this first sector, ladies and gentlemen, into the second now. Lap 1 of 26. Mackie holds it from Zazapi at the moment. Zazapi's trying to fight back. Cop's corner coming up now then, with a lot of battery left in his car on this first lap. He still could gain with that extra battery power that it can give him to gain up towards Mackie then, down the main straights. We will see it. Will it happen though? Lap 1 of 26 then, the strategies on your screen through Maggie's and Beckett's, and Zazapi managing to follow through quite closely at this moment in time. Behind that as well, Bruiser has got Mikey in front of him and he's following him quite close as well. These guys are giving it absolutely everything then into the right-hander. Everybody's snaking up towards the final few corners here in Silverstone. 26 laps ahead of us. We've already done one now. 25 remaining, and Mackie's your race leader after the first lap, everybody. Andy J. Price then having a battle with F1 Mikey Boy here. Mikey gets into 7. Behind that, Nova Piper goes off wide, then he goes off the track here, cutting the corner, bringing himself back on then in the ghosted mode, and a lot of drivers managing to pass him there as the Haas gets through, the Ferrari gets through, the second Haas gets through as well as they go 3 abreast then into the first corner. But I don't think they're... No, never mind. Nova Piper has lost that one down in 17. His teammate is up in second place. There's contact made there and end plate damage for this Kick Sauber, everybody. Wow, but lap 2 of 26, and the racing action so far has been absolutely sensational. Zazapi's in second place, losing that lead from the start, but he's still trying to chase Mackie down as fast as humanly possible in this Kick Sauber, and he will have the DRS this lap around to help him when he gets to a DRS zone. He's already used the first dose of it then in the first sector. Through Cop's corner we go then, all the way to the right hand side, downshift into 7th to keep the revs up then, as Zazapi is trying his best to keep on the backside of Mackie here through the Maggots and Beckett section, and a lot of drivers actually keeping quite close behind that. As here comes the Red Bull of Ferrari for life, and behind that, Maloon and Matt Connor, they all head through then in sync. But no moves at the minute, apart from this one at the back then. A Haas of Darrell with a bit of contact there on the Alpine of Josh, and he sends it around the outside line, very close to not clip his rears there on him, but he managed to fly his car through, and he manages to get ahead, ladies and gentlemen, in this one today. Zazapi with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, taken away by F1 Mikey Boy now in P7. F1 Mikey Boy losing a lot of places since the start, but he is bringing in those fastest laps, and we know how he races, we know how he drives, and he could catch up with the guys in front. This season, it's all going to be about consistency, and if Mikey can keep it consistent, he knows, you know, he could be a contender for the championship again. Billy Mewis then, bit of contact there on Bruiser in front of him, and now he does lose time and a bit of power due to that. F1 Mikey Boy gaining, as well as MCL gaining on the man in front. There's lap 3 of 26, and Mikey sees a bit of an opening there, but not enough power to get up the inside there. A lovely helicopter cam we see then. It's ahead of that is MCL on the backside of Billy Mewis as he sends the car up the inside of Cops, and we know what happens sometimes here. He does back out a little bit to give him a bit of space, and here comes Andy J. Price on F1 Mikey Boy. He makes that move, and he's ahead, everybody. A lovely move for him. He gets ahead quite easily there. Now the two McLarens are reunited in 6 and 7. MCL ahead. Off the track there goes Billy Mewis, trying to find his footing, keep himself on the track. Lap 3 of 26 then. Here in Silverstone, the drivers are giving it absolutely everything. Here, this track, mega long really. It is quite long, longer than you actually expect. As over the line then for the drivers, Mackie leads this race still. Zazapi trying to hunt him down. There's a 3/10 of a second gap there, and he's getting ever closer, gaining on the backside of him in that Kick Sauber. The 4th lap of 26 then for the drivers at the minute, and the rear is getting a bit shaky there for the Ferrari as the Kick Sauber's here and ready to make any move when it's possible. He does activate the DRS now to help him gain closer and closer as he dips onto the grass a bit there, trying to take a bit of a wider line into the left-hander. Blake with a 3-second time penalty, and actually impressively the first penalty of the day for the drivers. as Zazapi tries and fights back, and he looks for the gap up the inside line. Could he lead again for the first time since he started on pole in the first lap? He takes it very wide through Cop's corner. Mackie pulls away quite a bit there, and now he's at threat to Mikey GTI behind. A one-time race winner last season, ladies and gentlemen, and he could go ahead and win a championship, win a race this season. Could he be in contention for the championship even going into this season? It is possible. Humble with a 3-second time penalty, ladies and gentlemen, as the penalty's starting to rack up. 2 drivers with them now, and as you know, the warnings, when they start to rack up, the penalties will start to come in thick and fast, but at the minute it is looking quite nice and clean at the moment. Lap 4 of 26, 22 laps remaining. And over the line for the drivers in this Grand Prix, Mackie still leading from Zazapi, who's having a very hard time, actually making that pass on Mackie. He's stayed within, a small gap at the minute, and he's keeping it quite nice. But he has got Mikey GTI gaining on him from the backside, and that could be a bit of an issue if Zazapi makes one small mistake. That Aston Martin is going to be right there on the rear of him. Billy Mewis is in 5th position then, and he can see Bruiser in front of him. And they're all heading through the middle sector quite nice and cleanly. F1 Mikey Boy off the side of the track there a little bit. A bit of contact with one of the drivers, I believe, is Andy J. Price, his biggest rival of today's race right now. Manages to get back ahead, and he's ahead now trying to gain on his teammate MCL. Maybe his teammate's trying to drag him along in their DRS. That could be the strategy play at the minute. Lap 5 of 26 then we have. And Mikey heads through Cop's corner. Here comes F1 Mikey Boy then on the backside of Andy J. Price. He sends it on the outside line. That is an absolutely sensational move as he makes the pass. And F1 Mikey Boy, he gets into 7th position, drops Andy J. Price down to 8, says thank you very much, and he takes the position away quite rightfully there. Lovely move then from him. Just going to try and hold it now. These guys are going at it all race long, and he's just not being able to pull away properly to maintain that gap at the moment. Nova Piper with a 3-second time penalty. More penalties coming in now than is back of the grid. Fozy is the first driver to make a pit stop today. And as you can see, this man on the medium, so he will be going on to the hards now then. Brand new hard compound tyres for Fozy today as the wing goes on as well. That is why he's made such an early pit stop. New wing has had to go on his car. As Mackie still leads. Sound like a broken record now because he still does lead and nothing has changed up front because Zazapi just can't find any gap to get ahead. He's got, the pressure from Mikey behind, but he's also got to try and keep this gap in front and then try and find a gap to overtake. It's quite a lot on his mind right now, but how well can he handle the pressure? Making his way through, Maggots then Beckett's. He's caught up quite nicely there, as he's not too far off at the moment. This is definitely DRS contention range, and Mikey will have it as well. So does Bruiser, who is gaining on Mikey actually here, and this could be a move up the inside line. A bit more track there, we would have had a move. Braking very late, there goes Bruiser, compromises his exit. Better for Mikey GTI here, who manages to hold and stay in front of that one. Zazapi then is in P2, ladies and gentlemen. Mackie's in front of that. Here comes the drivers across the line for the 7th lap of the Grand Prix. And F1 Mikey Boy makes an early pit stop today. The first pit stop of the day then for drivers that don't need to change a wing. This is the first proper pit stop then. And he goes on for the hards from the hards, everybody. Or was it from the mediums? I think it was from the mediums, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. But lap 7 of 26. If you're in the chat then, everybody, let us know. It's been a very nice race so far, and I am very much enjoying it, of course. The first round back here in WRC, and the action has been great as the drivers continue all within a few tenths of a second, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see. It really, really is. Noah, hello. I'm new and joining the Thursday races. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Good to see you, Noah. Welcome in. Thank you for joining the stream tonight as well. Glad you're here. Lap 7 of 26, and we see a possible move here for a Red Bull. Ferrari for life sends his car up the inside line, absolutely flying through, and he takes 7th position. Andy J. Price now enters the pit lane. Never mind, it's not him, it's his teammate of MCL, who manages to get into 5th, going down into the pit lane, but then we'll lose all of that now then. 5th position for MCL as he enters the pit lane, ladies and gents. Matt Connor with a 10-second time penalty, and he will now be in the pit lane. MCL with brand new mediums. 2-stop strategy for him as well in the pit lane for Matt Connor then. He goes in for newer tyres. There's Ollie Southwell in the chat. How come you're not racing, mate? Are you racing this season, or are you not racing anymore? Or could you just not attend tonight? I was just wondering, because I saw you messaging, but then I've realised why you're not here. As Mackie still leads, 0.4 of a second is that gap. Look at these 3 drivers up at the front then on the helicopter cam. You love to see it, you really do. They're absolutely flying up at the front and giving it everything, and maybe this could be the lap as Zappy manages to finally get ahead. It's just such a shame that he can't get himself in front and make that move to get back ahead from, you know, on where he started. I did predict it at the start, though. I really did. I was saying in the formation lap, you know, as they enter the pit lane now, don't unpredict Mackie, because he was on pole a lot of the time. Oh my, 10-second time penalty for Mackie and Ferrari for life as well. Messes the pit entry up. That's huge. That is massive for the front few running drivers. All the way down the pit lanes, as Zappy has to head then, of course, in the Kick Sauber into the final pit lane spot, and it will be brand new medium compound tyres on then as he exits the pit lane here in P9, ladies and gentlemen. There's Mackie just in front of him. So Zappy in P9 then. P10 for Ferrari for life then. All the drivers exiting the pit lane. Here comes F1 Mikey Boy. He made a pit stop earlier on. Now he gets out ahead of Mackie. Does F1 Mikey Boy for pitting early. As Nova Piper retires from the session in the pit lane, but F1 Mikey Boy just about clears Mackie and the rest of the drivers then. And he pitted only a few laps to go. Maybe that was strategic. It's worked out quite well at the minute. He's in P8, but he's on the older tyres and on the hards as well, so less grip compared to the guys behind who have gone on the mediums again and definitely on for a 2-stop at the moment as lap 9 of 26. The lap's ticking by slowly but surely. I'm missing a few due to work, so reserved for season spectating to do graphics. Fair enough, mate. Never mind. No worries. You can't even serve the 10-second as well. I know, right? I know. 10-second penalty in the pit lane, but it can only be served the next time you go in. That is the big pain about it. It really is. So, you know, Mackie now with a 10-second time penalty, I'm not going to lie to you, he's going to struggle with that. In the pit lane comes Sidemen, and I think some more. Maloon goes in as well. But he will struggle with that 10-second penalty, will Mackie, because as you know, Suzuki was right behind him and he was not leaving any room, was he? He couldn't make a move past, but he was still only about 0.4 of a second behind. You know, that he would never gain a 10-second gap. But it is a two-stop strategy for him. So you will be going in that pit lane again, but it will just be an extra 10 seconds in there. That is what he's going to have to deal with. Then he'll have to try and make that time up, which he could possibly do. It's made his life a lot harder today, but it still is possible, and he still could go ahead and win this race this evening. Maloon in P15, then Sidemen in P14 is in front of that. Matt Connor taking a bit of the curb there and going on 2 wheels very nearly as Sidemen looks for a gap up the inside line. They exit the left-hander side by side now. Here we go, all the way down the back straight then, everybody. Sidemen and Matt Connor giving it everything side by side in this Grand Prix tonight. Up the inside goes Sideman. He just about holds on to that one. And the Mercedes of Matt Connor is going to have to hang back and wait. There's Matt Connor trying to gain on Sidemen again. Lap 10 of 26. If you're enjoying the action, everybody, send us a follow. You know, doesn't matter which account you're on. Send us a follow, everybody. If you're enjoying the action, we are on the Jack Rusty Comms channel trying to get up to 800 followers. But Mikey GTI then in the pit lane, humbled with a 10-second time penalty. But it is lap 11 of 26. Humbled with a penalty now. Mikey in the pit lane. He goes on for brand new harder compound of tyres. He exits in P3 right now, but he will be overtaken by the drivers heading down the pit lane. Does the Thursday races start in a few weeks? I'm not too sure about that, mate. I saw an announcement saying they're not going anymore, but I'm assuming they are because you said you're joining for the Thursday races. But I'm not clued up on that. Maybe someone in the chat will help you out. Lots of drivers heading down past the pit straight now, then, and lots of action going on here as Mackie has got F1 Mikey Boy in front of him. Mikey's trying to hold him at bay. Mikey's strategy worked out quite nicely so far as up the inside goes Mackie. Absolutely rapid driver he is. Flying through up the inside line, and now F1 Mikey Boy is going to struggle to get back through. Mackie makes his car absolutely mega wide. He really does, and people struggle to get through, as we saw with Sasapi earlier on. But he could still try it. F1 Mikey Boy is not giving up yet then on the older and less grippy, harder compound of tyres. He's not too far behind. Of course, he did lose a bit of time there through Cop's corner because of the less grip. But in certain corners, he could catch up. And even down the back straight. Now, a bit of ERS to help him gain. Mackie's harvesting battery right now as the drivers head into the right-hand side. All the way down towards the final few corners, ladies and gentlemen, here in Silverstone as lap 12 begins of 26 with your race leader, Daryl. But we're looking at the P3 and P4 at the moment, and a long line of drivers, lining up behind as they head through the final corner now and across the line. As Mackie in the lead, well, pretty much in the lead, of course. As we know, Daryl will need to go into the pit lane soon. You can see the tyres on the front left there getting a bit older. As Mackie, second with a 13.4 second gap to the man in front. F1 Mikey Boy isn't too far behind that one then, as MCL and Zazapi are going side by side, trying up the inside line there. Went the McLaren, but not enough room for him as Zazapi closes the door and lets the kickstarter lets himself back through. Up the inside for MCL. Whoa. Very close to making contact there, just about getting himself out of that. Fry for life in sixth, and he's watching this action unfold in front of him as we make our way up towards Cops with the drivers. And Fry for life, sorry, F1 Mikey Boy, my bad, he's trying to gain on Mackie, but still at the minute, nothing coming out of it. But Darrell rounds off that final corner to start the 13th lap, and that marks the half race distance today here at the British Grand Prix. Mackie second place then as F1 Mikey Boy is ever closer, actually nudging the backside of Mackie there and very nearly making him spin. We head up towards the main straight now then with a very close F1 Mikey Boy on the backside of the Ferrari. He is pulling away though, is Mackie, managing to hold it, but as we know he's got a 10-second time penalty, and that is going to come into play later on in this race. The second pit stop is going to come from both of these drivers, I'm assuming, unless Mikey's trying to make that one-stop work here today, but we'll find out what the drivers are doing. Definitely two-stop for Mackie today, as he's been on 2 sets of mediums, and, you know, by rules and regulations, he has to go into the pit lane and change onto a different set of dry compound. So that is what he will be doing later on today. But right now, these tyres clearly working well for him, managing to be this competitive. Billy Mewis with a 3-second time penalty, and the penalties are starting to rack up now then, everybody. But the gap between Darrell and Mackie has come down by a significant amount, around 3 seconds then. In one lap it has come down, and Darrell's definitely losing a bit of time here, quite a lot of time actually. He will not go into the pit lane yet as he's trying to make these hards just extend as far as possible and just trying to get the best out of him really, but he is losing a lot of time in turn. Mackie's in second place, and F1 Mikey Boy is 0.8 of a second behind that. Behind that, there's even more drivers all within, you know, a few tenths of a second still. This is the beauty of WRC, because the drivers, even after pit stops and things, they're still so very close. They really are. He's a one-stop possible here. Mate, honestly, I've seen races where drivers have made it possible, but is it going to work today? I don't know. I don't think you can ever really tell. We'll find out. Oh, the inside. Josh tries to send it on Andy. Bit of ghosting going on there, and he managed to go through him as Blake with a 10-second penalty and retires from the race in the pit lane this evening. Humboldt with a penalty. Humboldt now with another penalty, I believe. Has he got? Yeah, he has got another one. 16 seconds to his name. He's actually racking those up quite a lot now. Billy Mewis in P11. Malone round the outside line. Billy Mewis into P11. That is a brilliant move past him. Billy Mewis up the inside now, trying to get ahead of Sidemen. Absolutely brilliant then. He's just getting very aggressive on these corners, but not enough to get through past the second driver there. Only enough to get through past Malone in the moment. There's Mackie and Darrell now. The gap between them has come down a significant amount again. 6 seconds we just broke into for a moment. 6.5. Look at that gap. Darrell losing a hell of a lot of time here then as down the straights. You can see the graining on the front left getting ever worse. Puncture. That's a puncture on the front left for Darrell. Just on board with him and we heard it. You can see the puncture on the front left and the graining was getting bad. And I think that's punctured. It's got to be. That's definitely punctured then. He makes his way around, the tyre deflating as he drives on it even further. Losing time now as Mackie makes contact with him. He tries to get ahead. Lap 15 of 26, and now this is going to bring F1 Mikey Boy back into play. Here we go. Mikey gaining, and another Ferrari in front. Lots of slipstream for him. He goes round the outside of the hatch, then takes it deep into the right-hander. Loses time on Mackie. Unfortunately, it's Ferrari for life now. Then he's got P4. Is in the pit lane, goes Darrell with that broken tyre, deflated tyre that it is. Ten laps remaining, everybody. 10 more laps remaining in this Grand Prix. And Mackie in your race lead position. He's still got that 10-second time penalty. And it has been a great race so far, as stated by Ollie in the chat. It really has been good. F1 Mikey Boy holds second place, and he did drop down to 7th on the first lap of the race. It's been a mega comeback from him so far after choosing a different strategy from the rest of the drivers. Is it going to work out for him, though, is the lingering question. Like I said, 10 laps left. We're still quite a bit out from the end of tonight's race. Over half race distance, but still 10 laps around here in Silverstone. It's a long way still for the drivers to maintain this, and a two-stop strategy is being used quite a lot here today. But it's just when are they going to make their final pit stop? Mackie's still got to clear that 10-second penalty, and he's going to lose out today if he doesn't get it cleared. And in the pit lane for Mackie then, in that Ferrari. So does F1 Mikey Boy, and Zazapi, and Ferrari for life. Mikey GTI and Andy J. Price continue on as they fight through the chicane then, everybody. Who gets out ahead of this one? I think it's going to be Mikey. He will take the race lead then as he crossed the line here today. Mikey then into the race lead. Andy J. Price into 2. F1 Mikey Boy in the pit lane. He goes on to the mediums. I think, for the end of this race now. Oh, no, it's the Hards again. Never mind. Humboldt across the line then doesn't make a pit stop. Hards again for Zappy now. Sidemen in the pit lane. Matt Connor. Mackie then only just exiting now with a 10-second penalty, but he's on the new Hards. Just comes out behind Sidemen here in the pit lane. So much stuff going on in the pit lane here at the moment then. Is coming out as well is Matt Connor at the back of the grid nearly. Now at the back of the grid, but lap 17 to 26. A few drivers didn't make their pit stops today. F1 Mikey Boy in P6 and effectively in your race lead right now. If the drivers in front need to make another pit stop, which I assume quite a few of them will be doing. Maybe some are trying for the one stop, but two stop is the most frequent strategy we've seen here today. And the reality of it is, F1 Mikey Boy could be on for a win. Zazapi down in 7. Darryl in 8, MCO 9, Fozy 10. Mackie's come out all the way down in P14 and behind a lot of traffic at the minute. He's got 9 laps to catch Mikey and steal that win. He's got 9 laps to catch the drivers in front. He's very far off, and I don't think it's even possible. Andy J. Price needs to... he's got a 3-second penalty now. As they cross the line for Bruiser then in P4, 1.1 seconds of a gap to Billy Mewis. Billy's absolutely flying up the front then, and slight degrading on the front left that you can see at the moment. And we did see, you know, front left graining earlier on, and that caused a puncture. Will we see any more punctures today? It's possible. It's very, very possible. Humboldt losing positions now as he enters the pit lane. Humboldt goes in and he's going to be getting on some new hards after serving his 10-second penalty. So he'll now come out quite far down the back of the grid, a long way off the back. Pit stop done by the pit stop crew, and he exits the pit lane in P15. It'll be P16 as Matt Connor crosses the line and overtakes him. But as you know, everybody, post-race interviews are coming your way at the end of this race, and it is looking very likely that our man, F1 Mikey Boy, could be in those podium places to chat to us about his race tonight. It's been a while since I spoke to him, it feels like, in the interview room, and we're going to probably get to speak to him again. But Zazapi's in P6 and gaining quite quickly. MCL with a 3-second time penalty now as well, and Josh with one as well. Penalties are starting to rack up. But the big 10 seconds have been, you know, that they've been served in the pit lane now, so we've not really got any huge penalties anymore. Bruiser in 4, Billy Mewis 3, Andy J. Price 2, and Mikey GTI still leading with only 7 laps remaining on these hard compound tyres. Can he make it last, or will he have to go into the pit lane again? We'll find out, as MCL now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix down in P8 on the newer tyres, of course. Now Mackie sets the fastest lap. Maybe a worry in sight for the drivers. He's down in P13 at the moment, and we know what he's capable of. We know how fast he is, and we know that he could have won this race today if he didn't get a 10-second penalty. That is what we really know. But can he still win it? No, in the chat, very good race at the minute, especially for a round 1. Yeah, you're completely right. It's gone well. It really has gone well, and some of the strategies we're seeing here today are exciting. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the commentary and the racing in the chat tonight. It's been very nice to watch, and the post-race interviews will be coming your way at the end of this one, so don't think the action is done after the race, because we will have about 10 minutes of interviews after that. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It depends on, you know, the drivers we get and how much we need to talk about. But at the moment, Mikey GTI leads, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Ollie Southall saying 4 laps in the 129s down. These drivers are quick. They very much are. As Fozy and Mackie then in P12 and 13. Mackie goes into 12 as Fozy in the pit lane, as well as a Red Bull of Ferrari for Life. Sideman with a penalty now. Ferrari for Life with a puncture, I think. Is that? Looks like a rear puncture there. I don't know. Possibly, but he gets on the new softs then to round off this race. 6 laps remaining, everybody. As Fozy retires from the session, that'll be the end of his race today. Mikey GTI leading, Andy J Price 2, Billy Mewis 3. A very nice looking top 3 right now, but will it stay like that is the question, because Bruiser's just behind. Mikey Boy is 12.7 seconds behind. So his chance to win this at the minute is the guys in front need to all make pit stops pretty much, because I don't think he's gaining 12 seconds in the 6 laps we've got. I just don't think it's going to happen on these hard compounder tyres. He's also got Zazapi behind, which is putting in a shift. And, you know, I'd be worried. I really would. We'll find out, though. Off the track for Zazapi there. Is that a penalty? Or a warning, at least. He went well off there, but lost a lot of time. Maybe gave back the advantage he gained. Fozy should have stayed and done fastest lap, would have got 8 points. That's the thing, mate. That is the thing. And that is why the new point system is so good, because if you're thinking like that, you know, little points you can pick up for even for finishing down below where you normally wouldn't get any. Now it gives everybody a bit of an incentive to want to carry on, because they can still bring some points home for the team. And, you know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So it's a good call, in my opinion, making the points like that. It's definitely good for these games. And it's just unfortunate that people are still retiring, because that is points that they have lost out on when they're guaranteed at least 2. At least 2 points you take away. But Mikey's got Zazapi right on the backside in the 0.3 of a second gap there. Then he's not leaving him any room to breathe, is he? He really isn't. As he's gaining and gaining with a 0.2 of a second gap right now, and into the right-hand side, taking it a bit wide then through Cop's corner, which allows F1 Mikey Boy to pull ahead a little bit, which he's going to need to try and stay ahead down that back straight, ladies and gentlemen. The Mercedes is absolutely flying and doing his best right now. He's gained a lap on the guys in front, a second on the drivers in front in 1 lap is what I'm trying to say. And, you know, breaking that wall down even more as the laps go on, with only 5 laps remaining today. Who's going to take it? Who is going to take it? Will it be F1 Mikey Boy if the guys in front pit, or are the tyres going to hold out till the end? Will we get anybody with a puncture? A bit of graining on the front left here for Andy J Price, but you can't, it's not really much going on there. Billy Mewis, his tyres look okay. Bruiser's look decent as well. Nowhere near as bad as the tyres we saw earlier on, which absolutely crumbled. That's Fry for life then with a 128 flat, exactly flat. That is very rare to get a time like that. A 128 is very fast here in the race. Whoa, fair play, fair play. Mikey GTI leads then. He's doing a good job so far. Andy J Price is trying to catch him, and even if he does, he's got a 3-second safe zone, buffer zone, whatever you want to call it, because of Andy's penalty. Billy Mewis has also got a penalty of 3 seconds as Bruiser's gaining on him. So Bruiser's going to be on the podium at this rate and driving very nicely indeed. Ollie Southall says Bruiser tyres on 41%. Andy's tyres on 67%, and he's managing them quite well, he says. Andy's in second place, and you know, for them tyres to be on that kind of rate of damage, he's racing well, he really is. But F1 Mikey Boy is pulling time out of them, but it's just not enough laps to actually get the job done. And I don't think Mikey's getting on the podium here. I really don't. These drivers aren't going to go into the pit lane again, I don't think. This is it now. They are giving it everything they've got, and unless they get a puncture, they are going to drive to the end. They're trying the one-stop strategy. I believe they've been on the one-stop. Yeah, they have gone the one-stop at the front, and the one-stops works. The one-stop has worked today really well indeed, but are they actually going to follow this through? Only 3 laps left. Can they hold it? Mikey has wing damage. Oh, he does. Front end plate damage. And he's still gaining on them. Fair play, fair play. If Mikey didn't have wing damage, he might have had a better chance here. Thanks for pointing that out, mate. I haven't even noticed that. But yeah, wing damage for him. Let's see what Zazapi's wings looking like. Maybe his wings the same, or is it? Is it doing okay? We'll find out when we get an external camera. As here comes Zappy then. Gaining and gaining on the man in front. Bruiser saved up all WRC. He's going for it in the chat. We'll see what he can do. 23 laps in of 26 then, everybody. Lap 24 begins now then, and this is where it starts to get real. Fry for life with a time penalty as Mackie makes his way up into P10, and he's really lost out in today's race because of that time penalty that he got for a bad pit lane entry. As Bruiser could take P3 here, and in a minute he will be taking P3 on penalties, but I'm sure he wants to take it on track. That can allow him the chance to get second place if he gets ahead of Billy Mewis, so we'll find out. He's gaining and gaining then on Billy at the minute. Will it be enough though to get a move in the next 2 remaining laps, everybody? 3 including this one. In the pit lane for Humboldt and Ferrari for life. As we can see, your podium right now, 1, 2 and 3, Mikey, Andy and Billy. But they all could lose out to Bruiser, who could very well take that second place, but he's gone wide here then, losing a bit of time. And at the minute, he's not within 3 seconds of Andy J. Price. He's actually quite a bit out of it. He needs to gain a bit more on the final 2 laps then remaining after this one, if he wants to take second place, but he's definitely on for third place at the moment, everybody. Fighting at the minute, P5 for Zazapi as F1 Mikey Boy loses out on a few points here. Zazapi gets into 5, the man that started on pole position today, and the strategy just hasn't worked out as well as he wanted it to, sorry. P5 for him right now on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Will F1 Mikey Boy manage to get back in front? As Josh with a 3-second time penalty. But we look to the drivers in front now then, and Mikey GTI still leads Andy with a 4/10 of a second gap, and he is gaining on the race leader. Of course, Andy does have a penalty, Mikey does not, so even if he gets ahead, Mikey's in the better seat at the moment, in the better place to be for him. Ferrari and Humboldt on wets. Not too sure why they're on wets at the back of the grid, but they are on wet compound tyres. Bit of a weird one, but Mikey GTI up at the front, Andy J. Price getting ever closer. These guys are still going at it this lap, and one more to go before the end of this first race today, ladies and gentlemen. And I think Mikey GTI is going to win it. I really do. He's doing well without a penalty and holding on from Andy J. Price. It's looking strong. We don't want to get too excited yet, but Mikey GTI could be on for his second win in WRC in the Tuesday division. He won last season 1 race. I don't remember what race it was. I need to check the stats, but he did win a race. I remember him winning one in the early start parts of the season. And he's here to down the round 1 with a 1-stop strategy at the minute, and he's holding on for his first win of the season and the first win of the season. Going to be bagging 35 points and 35 points to his name this early on. Very good indeed. He should be happy with that if he can hold it. 7/10 of a second behind then is Andy J. Price as Bruiser finally gets into third place, and he's on the podium at the minute. Not enough for second place right now, but he could take it away from Andy J. Price if he gains a little bit more, everybody. Just on the on the fence here is Bruiser in the wall then on the final lap. He was in contention here of the podium today, but he's lost out. He has lost out at the end of this one, and off the track goes Bruiser to lose out on the podium, everybody. Such a shame. He's driven brilliantly, but Mikey GTI on the final lap of the Grand Prix here in Silverstone He's going to make his way down the back straight and soak it all in. I believe he's British, and this could be a home win for him then if he is British. But a great race for him. And Mikey GTI, as we know, won a race last season in the early stages. He comes here again for the second season running in WRC, and he is successful once more. 2 wins then here in WRC. Mikey GTI wins the British Grand Prix. Andy J. Price over the line takes second place. Billy Mewis comes home for the final spot on the podium today. Zazapi takes 4, F1 Mikey Boy 5, Daryl 6, MCL 7, Josh will cross the line in 8. Mackie then will take 9 after the penalties, P8 now on the penalties, as Bruiser takes 9 after penalties, Maloon 10, Josh 11, Sidemen 12, Matt Connor in 13 when he crosses the line. Bruiser in the chat not happy. He was doing so well as well. Bruce, I'm so sad for you, mate. It was great for you. It really was going well. Matt Connor in 13. Fry for Life across the line in 14. When he gets there, quite far off. And Humboldt then, of course, both on the wet compound. Not entirely sure why. But we'll wait for them to come around as I'm going to get ready for the interviews. As here comes Fry for Life then across the line in 14. Humboldt will cross the line in 15. In the wall there for Humboldt. And that is the end of this one tonight, everybody. Right then, everybody. Race winner. Well, if it comes up, I don't think we're going to get the results. Sometimes it does this. I don't think we're getting them. There we are. Never mind. Race winner, Mikey. Fastest lap, Fry for Life. Daryl, driver of the day. Daryl most overtakes, and Daryl takes the cleanest driver. Let's get into the post-race interviews, everybody. 2 seconds, guys. Hang on. Right, let's start with Mikey GTI. How are you doing, mate?
Good, mate, you?
Not too bad. Well, I think, am I right in saying last season you won 1 race? I think 1, was it?
Possibly. I think maybe Spain.
Yeah, I think it was.
Go! Bastards, let's go! Second place! Fucking go! Fucking go! Yes! Sorry. Sorry.
Well done, Andy.
Jack.
Well done, mate.
Sorry. Well done, mate. Well done.
Right, Mikey, let's start with you then. 1 last season. You come into the first round of the season, taking a win again. Walk us through your race. How happy are you with it?
Yeah, I just put a bit of practice in, and I knew I could possibly make the one-stop work as long as I wasn't in too much traffic. So I just went for it, to be honest. And yeah, I didn't think other people were going to try it as well, but Billy and Andy obviously tried it as well. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, they're going to push me, because I wanted to obviously not push as much, because there's a big gap from the one stop to the 2-stop.
Yeah.
So I would prefer obviously not to push as hard, and obviously that left front was just touch and go, isn't it? But no, Andy kept me honest the whole way as well. So, and it was nice to use my teammate last season, I think it was.
Absolutely. Well, how important would you say these points are this early on in the season? Of course, 35 I think you've taken tonight. It's quite a big chunk.
Yeah, pretty good. Seems though I missed the first race last season, so it's definitely a lot better. And
finally, do you think this result's done good for your confidence going into the next round and the season as a whole?
Well, the calendar looks like it's a bit more favourable to me. Like, there's a few races that I actually quite like in it. This is one of my strong tracks, to be fair. Well, so there's a few of them in there, so...
Good stuff. I'm glad to hear it. Well done on the race win. Good start to the season, and hopefully maybe we'll speak to you again next week.
Hopefully, buddy. Thank you, mate.
No worries. Right then, Andy J. Price. Let's move on to you, mate. Second
Hey,
place.
bud.
You happy
Fuck
with
yeah.
that?
Fuck yeah. Considering I'm the opposite of Mikey GT, I have not practiced at all. I borrowed the setup about an hour before kickoff. I have a gammy back and leg, and I'm 44 in a couple of weeks. I am fucking over the moon. Let's go.
Very
One
nice.
for the oldies.
Good stuff.
Mate, I'm 40 as well.
Are you really? Shit.
Yeah, mate. Billy Muse, he's not fucking 40. I thought we could have an oldie podium.
Yeah. Well, if my teammate pulled his finger out, he would have been in there. He's 40. I knew NCL 85. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, Jack.
No, it's
Sorry.
all good. It's
Yeah.
all good. I'm glad you're happy about the result. Second place then. I'll ask you the same question. Do you think this result has done good for your confidence then going into the rest of the season? Because it's very good. Second place.
Hey, Jack, you've been racing you watched all of last season.
Yeah.
I'm pretty mediocre at best. So this is a result.
It really is good stuff.
When you look back and you see Zappy and Mikey Boy and Billy Lewis, and they're fucking catching you very quickly, and you're stuck behind Mikey GT, and we're both on the fucking well-worn hards. I was like, oh my days. I couldn't stay in his fucking DRS. He was so quick coming out of through cops. Oh my days. But yeah, really good race. Really good race. I hope it was good to watch.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. It was a good first round, definitely was. But
perfect.
Great result for you. And do you think you're going to be able to continue this form into second round?
Not a hope. Not a hope. Not a hope. Honestly, the bread has fallen on the floor and the jam has fallen jam side up. It is pure luck. Normally it's going to go shit to tits, but hey, we're good. We're good. We're going to take a win. I know it's a second place, but it's a win.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Well, I'm glad
I do want to thank MCL for helping me out this morning. I had the worst setup and he gave me one, and I changed it a little bit because I'm not as quick as him. But hey-o, look at it.
Great result. Well, I'm glad you're happy, and I appreciate your time, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. You do a great job.
Oh, cheers.
I love watching your commentary back. It's great.
Good
hey,
stuff.
Well done, Mikey.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, good racing, and well done to Billy behind us as well.
Miles behind he was.
He was, wasn't he?
Embarrassing from the champ.
Right.
Maybe he needs to give that controller back to his missus. What the hell? What's going on?
Right. Let's move on. Third place. Billy Lewis, are you happy with that result then? First round of the season, does it give you confidence?
No, not really. But I'm happy I got third.
Yeah.
And it feels like a fever dream seeing Mikey and Andy on the podium, so that's good to see. He's usually around P10, so.
Cheers, Billy. Thank you for bringing me back.
Oh my god. It's the most chaotic interview ever, but it's brilliant. Right. So, yeah, Billy, of course, world champion last season. Do you think, it's very early to say, but do you think you're going to be able to try and replicate that this season, or what are you thinking?
I'm going to try because I think everyone's had a step up this season and everyone's even quicker, as you can see from the podium. But yeah, I'll try my best, but I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll try to get like top 5.
I think you're getting higher than top 5. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyway, good luck to you. And in terms of the calendar for the new season, is there any race you're looking forward to?
I haven't even seen the calendar, but Monaco.
Fair enough.
I think that'll make it interesting. I think Monaco's on it.
Monaco next.
It is.
It's Monaco next.
Nah, Barcelona and then
No,
Monaco.
it's Barcelona.
Oh, that'll be good. Love to see Andy on the wall there. That'll be fun.
Wow, don't be bitter. Don't be bitter. Don't be bitter.
Or another podium.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate all your time, everybody. It's been great. Thank you very much. Honestly, best interview I've ever done. That was actually the funniest thing ever.
Hey, Cheers, Jack.
No
Cheers,
worries.
boys.
Appreciate all the time.
Thank you very much,
Speak
Jack.
to you next week,
Thank
guys.
you.
Right,
So-
I'm going to go
buddy.
and open a bottle of champagne. I'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Right then, everybody. After the most chaotic interview and arguably the best interview ever in league racing for me, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for your time watching tonight, and we'll see you all next week. Have a nice evening and good night.